Once again, time to look at a manga haul. In this one, it's slightly Christmassy because I got stuff for Christmas. That's about it. Yeah. However, this manga haul has a twist. We have a special guest. Ooh. Of course, that special guest is Nadeshiko. A cute, adorable plush of Nadeshiko. Go winter camping or I'll murder you! Good old Nadeshiko and your winter camping. I say we're talking about manga, however the first one we've got isn't actually a novel. Not even a light novel, just a straight up novel. And that is The Miracles of the Nemea General Store. Over 12 million copies sold worldwide. You know it's good. This one was the one that I wasn't sure on. I wasn't entirely sure how it was going to go because I was just like, well, I don't know much about it, but it looks quite pretty. So I got this one for Christmas and honestly, I was blown away with this one. I was absolutely blown away with how good this title is. The story is about a general store. It's kind of like got a question and answer box. You post your question in, you get an answer back the next day. However, it's actually a time travelling question box and manages to go through time, and it's the string of thread of destiny and manages to hook up all of these people, connect all of these seemingly unrelated people across the country and through this little town. Everyone's connected in some way and form, and it's absolutely beautiful. I would really recommend it if you want a standalone novel. It's very emotional. I really enjoyed what I read of it. Also, it looks really nice. I mean, look at that. That's a really nice cover. Absolutely beautiful. The first manga I want to talk about is the Quintessential Quintuplets, Volume 6. I caught up, I read volumes 1 to 5. I pretty much read them all in succession. And then I got Volume 6 and I haven't touched it. The reason being is that Kodansha's actually quite far behind on releasing them over here compared to over in the digital version. I think the digital one's on Volume 10 or 11 and it's actually due to finish. The series is actually due to finish. However, because this one hasn't caught up, I think it's a few more weeks until Volume 7. I was just like, oh, I enjoyed binging it, so I've kind of left it on the back burner. Naughty indeed. I'll try and get through to it in the next few weeks. This is going to be something because I actually haven't read much of the physical stuff I've bought, which is, yeah, I don't like doing that, but it's just kind of one of those things. But yeah, Quintessential Quintuplets, absolute fantastic manga so far. I would really recommend it if you like your harem comedy series. I watched the anime, which gets to Volume 5, I believe, and wow, the anime was easily one of my favourites of last year, and I can't vote for it in any of the Crunchyroll awards. Oh well. Next up is, well, it was 50% off time at Travelling Man, so I got High School of the Dead Volume 2, High School of the Dead Volume 3, High School of the Dead Volume 5, and High School of the Dead Volume 6. 5, 6 and 2 were all 50% off. This is an absolute classic manga that I think everybody probably should have read at some point. If you like anime titties. If you don't like anime titties, you're probably not going to have a good time. Slightly disappointed that there's a little bit of yellow one on this, but you know what? This one was like £3. I bought it pre-owned, so I was just like, oh well, I'm not going to complain entirely about that. But it's just one of those things. High School of the Dead is one of those series that I absolutely loved when I got into manga again a few years ago. But I never actually read any further than the anime got. The reason I've picked these up is, well, I'm working on a little project. It's probably not going to get done until March, April time because of the way the original project's going. I'm working on a little project for the entire history of High School of the Dead. It's something that's it's worth talking about. Maybe we'll get season 2 eventually. We probably never will. But yeah, the manga, it's something that's definitely worth checking out. It's nice and compact as well. I think there's only 7 volumes of it as well, so it's like, yeah, a nice compact series you can collect the whole one of very easily. What do you think of zombies, Nadeshiko? They interfere with my winter camping! Classic Nadeshiko. She knows where the bodies are hid. Look at that smile. She knows. Now, this one is a light novel. Now, I actually have read some of the manga on this a few years ago, and I really enjoyed it. I think I only read like chapter 1 or 2, and I enjoyed it so much, but then I heard that this was coming out, and I was like, well, there's no point reading any more of the manga. I'll read the light novel. So this is, suppose a kid from the last dungeon boonies moved to a starter town. Now, this is another overpowered protagonist in which the kid who lives next door to like the final dungeon in like a video game, he's the weakest one in the town. So he's sick of getting bullied. He goes to the starter town and lives life there. However, because he grew up in the where all of the overpowered final dungeon monsters are, he's incredibly overpowered, and yeah, he's really useful, and he gets a bit of a harem. I haven't read any of this yet. I got for Christmas. I kind of feel bad that I haven't read it, but yeah, I really enjoyed the manga. It's nothing entirely exceptional. It's another kind of trash isekai light novel, but I would definitely recommend it if you want something a little bit different. The manga was a lot of fun from what I recall. Next up is Volume 3 of Delicious in Dungeon. One of the titles I've decided to try and catch up on is this one, and along with Quintessential Quintuplets, until I realised I was actually caught up already on it. So this is the only one I'm kind of, at the moment, I'm kind of saying, oh, I'm going to go out of my way to get all of this one. It's going to be slow going because I haven't read this one yet. My vow for the new year was to not start any new manga series physically. I don't mind buying them digitally, it's just more at the moment I'm rapidly running out of space, and I can't justify getting rid of light novels. Yeah, so yeah, this is Delicious in Dungeon Volume 3. Fantastic. If you want to learn how to make food out of monsters in a dungeon, you would really enjoy it. Nadeshiko here enjoys it because it's all about eating things, eating monsters, eating things, yes, eating things in general. I've said eating things far too many times. I've kind of worked myself in the corner, and I'm going to back away gently. Yes, this one. Shadow Student Council Vice President Gives Her All by Redrop, based on Prison School. This is the Prison School spin-off manga. Yeah, it was originally sealed. There was no Yu-Gi-Oh card in. I don't know what's happening. I hope High School of the Dead is going to at least improve on that, because I'm getting very disappointed I'm not getting these Yu-Gi-Oh cards in all of these wrapped up titles. Yeah, it's almost as if you don't get Yu-Gi-Oh cards at all. They lied to us. They lied to us all. This is a spin-off of Prison School. It's basically just an ecchi. Shadow Student Council Vice President Gives Her All. Miko just ends up in all of these situations where she's either very sweaty, very revealing, pops out of her clothes, that kind of thing. I am working on a massive, huge Prison School retrospective. Look forward to that in the next few weeks. This is one of the reasons I did pick this one up. It's a comedy, I suppose. If you like ecchi, if you don't mind Prison School ecchi, yeah, you're going to get a lot of fun out of this one. The cover alone pretty much gives away what you're going to be expecting from this. She's also a very good girl. She's a very good girl indeed. None of this cannibalism. Next up is Volume 7 of So I'm a Spider, So What? I love this series, and I have been promising a lot of people that I will do a full coverage on this. Once I've read Volume 7, I fully intend to do another video just on this series, because every now and again people read the one I done about 2 years ago, and they're like, I want more, and I was just like, yeah, it's coming, I just haven't had time. This is an absolute fantastic title about a girl who was reborn in another world as a spider. Yeah, it's kind of like Slime Isekai, however, I feel it's a lot more interesting. The twists are just fantastic, and we get a lot more interesting ways of the evolution. I think that we're kind of coming to a point where we might start seeing the end of this. I'm not really sure where the series is going to go from Volume 6 onwards, but I'm really excited to find out. This one or Last Dungeon, I think, is going to be the next one I'm going to try and read. I'm not sure yet. Silver Spoon. Silver Spoon is an awesome series, and I've discussed Silver Spoon at length. This is Silver Spoon Volume 12. I was so excited for it. I ordered it as soon as it came up, and I haven't had the chance to read it. It's next on my to-read list. I might actually read it tonight. I heard a lot of hype about this volume. A lot of hype indeed. It's actually ending very soon as well, so I'm kind of like, oh, it's ending, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I want to catch up on this one. This is going to be one of the ones I definitely finish off because it's just so fantastic, and it's been an absolute thrill of a ride. I don't want to discuss too much about Volume 12 because, like I said, we are in Volume 12. We're kind of like in the end game here. From what I understand, there's a lot of things that have peered off throughout the series in this volume, so very looking forward to reading it and having a bit of a discussion. Once I finish all of Silver Spoon, I'm going to do a huge, massive retrospective because this is a series definitely worth talking about, and I see it every single time. I enjoy this more than Full Metal Alchemist. That's right, I went there. I went there indeed. And we now come to, well, it's not our final one, but it's neither final. We have Toradora Volume 7. I have made the effort, because if you remember last month, I purchased Volume 2, 3, 4 and 5 of Toradora. I've just finished reading Volume 5 tonight. I've actually put all of the other stuff I'm getting on the back burner so I can catch up with Toradora, and my god, it is an absolute amazing series. I am feeling so rewarded by reading it. It's one of those ones where I very much struggle to read volumes one after another, and Toradora's has me hooked because it's a very simple read. There might be there's usually about 200. This one's got about 250. The last volume I had like about 300. There's quite a few pages on it, but you just get through them so fast, and it's one of those ones where if I'm sitting there concentrating, I can get through a volume in about 2 nights, 3 nights max. It's so great, and I really love the dynamic between Tiger and Ryuji. And I'm really interested on where the dynamic's going. I've never watched the anime. I actually own the anime. I watched Volume 1 so I could get the voices in my head of what they sound like. I was expecting Monica Rial for this one, for Tiger. It's not. It's I can't remember what she's called, but she voices Fee in Trails of Cold Steel. So yeah, brilliant. Love the series. I'm going to cover this more in depth at a later date once I've caught up. I didn't realise how far the physical volumes were, because I thought it was only up to Volume 5. I think Volume 9 or 10 might actually be out, and there's only like 10 or 12 volumes. So yeah, I'm going to make the effort to catch up on this along with Delicious and Dungeon. And that's pretty much it. You might notice that there's a few other titles, for example, ReZero and the Slime Isekai, which actually had new releases a few weeks ago. I actually I've purposely not picked them up. The reason being is that I'm quite behind on my light novels. And I'm also at a point where I'm kind of considering, well, is it worth me picking up light novels physically, or should I just get them digitally? This was a Christmas present, the Boonies one, so that was why I got it physically. But I'm also kind of thinking, well, Slime Isekai, I've got 6 volumes. I was like, I can probably sell them and buy them all digitally, especially when Bookwalker's doing all of these fantastic 50% off Isekai sales. And I'm kind of at the point where I was like, oh. Also, I'm trying to avoid the whole of these picking up titles and having them sitting on a shelf. I know a lot of these I haven't read, but I'm kind of starting to be a little bit more conscious. I've sat there and binged the entire Golden Kamuy in a week because I was sick of looking at the 12 volumes I had where I hadn't even read 7 of them, and I was just like, yeah. But there is still another title I want to discuss, and that is the Konosuba spin-off. Konosuba, An Explosion on This Wonderful World. Megumin's Turn. That's right. I have been so excited for this one to come out. As you guys already know, I'm a huge fan of Konosuba. Megumin is such a fun character, and I'm really looking forward to reading this because I got it for New Year and I haven't read it. I blame Toradora. Yeah, it's one of those ones I was just kind of like, oh, I'm going to read it, and I was just like, actually, I haven't had time to read it yet, so yeah, I'm going to read, I've got volume 2 of the My Hero Academia on loan. I'm going to read that, then I'm going to start this, so expect a review on this one very soon. And when we come to reviews, I want to see it now. The channel is going to change. I'm not content at the moment with some of the content I'm putting out. Some of the stuff I'm kind of doing, I'm kind of reading them, and I'm kind of like, oh, well, it's volume 7, and I think you guys are just like, well, it's volume 7, I'm not seeing part 1 yet. And I'm not really content with the stuff I'm putting out, so I'm going to review what I'm doing. This is why I've kind of went from doing 3 or 4 videos a week to kind of just 1. Yeah, there's a valid reason for that. I'm also working on the complete history of prison school, the complete history of WHOPPER, and after that I'll be looking at the complete history of High School of the Dead. This is a new series I'm kind of hoping to go and look at rather than just kind of being, yeah. But that's just something I'm hoping to do. We will still do hauls. I will still do reviews here and there on stuff I feel like is worth reviewing, and I will be doing what I'm reading content as well. I really enjoyed doing that a few weeks ago, and I want to do another one. But for now, that is my haul for December and January. It was a large haul. I'm going to stick the words big massive haul on here and get all of them views. Nobody watches to the end. But if you have, thank you for coming, and thanks again for staying. Let me know in the comments what you have picked up this month, and what are you looking forward to collecting this year? Is there anything that you've got your eye on? Are you going to try and catch up on any particular series? Have you got any New Year's resolution when it comes to manga? Let me know in the comments. I'm looking forward to hearing them and seeing where we go from there. Thanks for coming, and thanks again for staying. Goodbye.